we're cooking. I'm Jonathan Coachman. You're tuned in to the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, running back Dalvin Cook. He's back and coming off a big game a weekend ago, as it'll be the Denver Broncos taking on the Minnesota Vikings. With that, we send you up to U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Standing by, our commentator.
The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. A first down throw for Cousins. It's complete to Laquan Treadwell. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 23 yards, the final tally.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Now this throw caught left side. 2 chunk plays in a row. The last one was over 20 yards, and so is this one.
Now they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Throwing is Cousins. He'll find Thielen working the middle. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays. Cousins now to throw on first down. And he'll find Thielen on the right side. It's a loss of 4 on the first down play. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a gain in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams...
He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. Herb Smith Jr. with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Vikings take the ball down the field and score on their opening drive. Extra point up and good by Bailey. And that makes the score 7-0. So that drive, 6 plays, 75 yards. And it's polished off by a Viking score. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. Flacco going to bring up the Broncos 1st and 10 at their own 22. Now the young man who was a Pro Bowler as an undrafted rookie, it's Phillip Lindsay. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Pass complete here to Sanders. And he's brought down after a very nice game. The catch and run pays off for 29 yards. Flacco from midfield. Man open, he's got it complete to Cortland Sutton. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Call that a very strong gain of 24. They look to throw on 1st and 10 with Flacco. He's got his tight end, Jake Butt. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. Jake Butt, his first touchdown on the year, as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter.
Remember the one-dimensional tight ends who just put their hand in the ground and block people? Well, if you're that guy now, you're probably a fullback in an I-formation offense. These tight ends nowadays can do everything. Block, run, and catch. Beautiful connection for a touchdown.
Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the #1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in, but I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're #1 in their conference.
From the 29, Cousins. And his throw's going to be incomplete. He was waving his arms, wanted the football, but he dropped it. And that reminds me of the story you told me from your days at Tennessee. We don't need to mention the other guy's name, but when he dropped an open pass that you blew coverage on, what'd you say to him?
Yeah, it's really not right since I blew coverage, but since he dropped the pass, I said, well, maybe next time he'll just walk it out here and hand it to you. Would that be easier? He wasn't real thrilled with that.
That's cold-blooded. Cold-blooded. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. These two teams all tied after one. Second quarter now from Minnesota. It's the Vikings in possession of the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Now Cook. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense,
and that'll be caught by Diggs for a Minnesota touchdown. Stephon Diggs with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Vikings have taken the lead. That's one of those long drives where not only do you score, but you really tire out the defense, too.
That's a great point, because now they've been on the field for a long time. Them going to the bench, trying to make adjustments, trying to figure things out, but they'll do so fatigued.
Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. This will be taken in at the 1. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay. I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
Well, you know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's two different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs?
Passing play, Flacco. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And you see Dalvin Cook in the offense heading back out. And he's closing in on that number that all running backs circled beginning of the year, the number 1,000. Could do it on this drive.
And you have to think to yourself that this moment getting to this spot, it started in the offseason, right? Not just the workouts, right? Not just getting yourself physically prepared to play, but mentally, as well as your team, as well as your unit, head coach, offensive coordinator. We run the football. We give you opportunities. He's taking advantage of it.
And when you get this close to the mark, you just hope things don't tighten up, right? You probably want to get there and get it in your rearview mirror.
You really do, don't you? Because now it becomes predominant, and you wonder about play calling as well. Do you want to call plays to get that out of the way, or are you still calling plays to win the game first? That becomes the burden of the play calling.
That'll be complete to Cook. And the tackle going to be made at the 41 as they stop him a few yards short of the first. So on fourth down, they bring on the Michigan man, Matt Wild, to kick it away. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the second quarter, 14-7. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
A reminder that coming up later tonight, a good one on Sunday Night Football. We'll see what could have been a playoff matchup a season ago. The Bears and the Rams from L.A. And then tomorrow night, Monday Night Football from down in Mexico. Mexico City, to be precise. The Chiefs and the Chargers going at it. Flacco, a veteran in these situations, hurrying his guys up. To throw again on second down. Flacco. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 16 yards, a first down. Flacco will come to the line, 1st and 10. And he's a perfect 6 for 6 here to start the ball game. Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. They tried to throw on second down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1. They go pass again with Flacco. Got a man. He finds Sanders. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. And into the red zone now. And Charles, they told us offense in the red zone was a focus this week in practice.
A huge priority, and the key was to get points so you know that all the time.
And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. Emmanuel Sanders, his 5th touchdown now on the year, as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game.
After nearly 30 minutes of football, that touchdown puts us in a position where if they make the extra point, we're right back to even before we start the second half.
McManus's point after is good. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. And that is going to tie our game as we approach halftime. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And we're under a minute to go here in what's been an even first half, all tied up.
Yeah, still time to make something happen, too. A couple completions, you string them together, could get into field goal range. Let's see what happens.
Caught on the right side by Treadwell. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. On 1st and 10, Cousins. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. He'll get it to the 40. Broke a tackle there to get some extra yardage. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Play action now. Cousins. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 20-yard line. So on second down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. From the left hash, this from 37. Bailey's kick is good. And they take a 17-14 lead. So we will not go into the lockers tied. We do have a leader in the clubhouse, so to speak.
Yeah, it's only 3 points. Doesn't seem like much, but it looms big the way that they got it done right before the half ended.
This will be taken short. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here. Maybe you get some momentum going into the half. What's the flip side of that? You do something crazy, quarterback gets hit, ball comes free, and now you're down an even bigger margin. Go ahead and take this one, go to the locker room, start over.
This will be fielded at the 6. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Here comes the Broncos offensive unit here as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at interval? And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And this belongs to the Vikings. They came out of the locker trailing. Not a good way to start this second half with their first drive.
Can't imagine that the discussion at halftime encompassed this at all. In fact, I'm sure they talked about, okay, kind of wipe the slate clean, start the second half, and let's go out and play the way we know that we can. That's not a great example of it.
They didn't envision that. Again, it's Cook. Pushing forward for 3 up to the 48.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Set the tone, defense.
On play action, Cousins. Smith catches left side. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver, where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a first down.
Flacco going to bring up the Broncos 1st and 10 at the 20. Here's Flacco off the play fake to Lindsey. Left side here, that's the tight end Fant. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down. Give him a couple on the catch, it's 2nd and 8. From the 22, here's 2nd and 8. Flacco leaves to Lindsey on the draw. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down.
Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
Now it's Lindsey, and very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
Let's go, team. Big series right now.
He's got a man. It's Sutton that's complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Well, they were in search of a short gain on 3rd down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards. Sutton is part of a good young receiving core for the Broncos. They liked Sutton enough last year. They traded away Demaryius Thomas, if you remember, halfway through the season. And Sutton, a fight for the football, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the former first-rounder Trey Waynes.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball, and I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
A running play on 1st down, and it turns into a fight just to get back to the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Give them 14 on that one and a first down. Following the good run by Cook, here's another 1st and 10.
Check 52. Hey, 382, last 50.
47's a must.
To throw is Cousins. It's caught by Treadwell. A big play there on the catch and run. 59 yards. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. A gain of 7 that time. 2nd and goal.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Cousins. Bradley Chubb able to put an end to that play, and in so doing, puts an end to this third quarter.
When you're this close to the goal line, you got to expect pressure from the defense, so the ball's got to come out fast. Got to get out of his hands quicker.
And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams. As we get open, man is Treadwell, and he's got it for the Minnesota touchdown. Kirk Cousins with 3 touchdown passes now in the afternoon. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Well, that's about as quick of a passing touchdown as you'll ever see right there.
Everyone has a section in their playbook called the quick game. That was a super quick game. Out of the hands of the thrower, bam, right to the receiver, successfully for a touchdown.
How in-depth is that quick game part of the playbook?
It's pretty in-depth because people want the ball out of the hands of the quarterback into the playmaker's hands.
Now a hit and a loose football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And they're going to bring this one back. It's a fumble return, a scoop and score for the Vikings. So they get the one-score kickoff, get a fumble, take it right back to the house. 2 quick touchdowns within a matter of about 10 seconds on the game clock.
It's like a big 1-2 punch that may lead to a knockout.
So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Flacco going to bring up the Broncos 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Throw left side complete. That's Lindsey. No gain, and it's 2nd down. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. The pass there complete to Sutton. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 12 yards there and a first down. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Here's Flacco. He's got his big tight end, Fant. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch. Good for 8 yards. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against?
Check the outs, check the outs, check the outs.
So a jump there defensively.
It's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
3 down.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Sutton drilling it in on the left side. Give him 7 on the play, and it'll be a 2nd down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. He was trying to find Noah Fant, the tight end, and it's 3rd and short. So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Sanders has it over the middle. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 32-yard line.
But give the defensive guys a little bit of credit. They didn't let the deep ball beat them on that play, did they?
No, the drag, that can be your safety valve. We saw it, right? Oh, now Lindsey lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. Weaving through traffic, and now he's free. And they're going to bring this one back. It's a fumble return, a scoop and score for the Vikings. And that's a linebacker showing he can move pretty good with a football in his hand.
That's not just a short shuttle now. He took it and went a pretty good distance, didn't he? Did you get the 40 time on that?
I didn't, but he got 6 points out of it. I know that in a great play for that defensive unit. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This is taken at his 4. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And they weren't on the sidelines for long, but I'll tell you what, I'm glad you and I weren't down there. We could hear them, the coaches from all the way up here. They were adamant, you've got to hold on to the football or else we have no hope.
Yeah, it's easy for me to laugh sitting up here, but you're exactly right. If we were down there, that message would have been received a whole different way. Because turnovers, they've been a big problem for them. Got to take care of the football. Got to hold on to it.
They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. From the gun, Flacco completes it to Fant on the right side. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down. Flacco to throw here on 3rd down. Open man is Winfrey. And a loose football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line. Cousins now after the fumble recovery. Wide open receiver complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 25 yards that time. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
They run it again with Cook. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. It's a 1st down on a gain of 10. This defense, Charles, they have unraveled here in the 4th.
In a sense, it's like they're being pressed like in a basketball game, and they just can't get the ball over half court.
And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone can stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that's leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now, because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
This fielded at the 2. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this one? And it's a fumble. And the Vikings pick up the football. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the 4th quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. Cousins. He's got it complete to Diggs, right side. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. A big pickup of 38. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. Cousins the thrower. And give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues.
I tell you, Charles, you play to the final whistle, I get that, but there are a few folks that might not be too happy with that score late in the game with it already well in hand.
You seem a little squeamish about that last score.
I struggle with it. I struggle. But on the other, the argument, I get it, on the other side is, hey, do something about it. Stop them.
I guarantee you, I know who was really excited. Fantasy owners who had them. Hey, listen, get the points for me. They're not worried about hurt feelings or anything like that. That's just new age stuff.
And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. It's in the 4th quarter down in Miami. It's now a 2-touchdown lead there for the Dolphins. Ryan Fitzpatrick, 2 touchdown passes in the W. On 1st down, Flacco. That's caught over the middle by Fant. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. And all the way home for a Broncos score. Noah Fant with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Broncos get 1 score closer. Extra point from McManus is good. And